let me, do you remember where you sat before?
Yeah.
Same seating with chart as before.
Oh, so we go to study hall afterwards, right? Yeah. What? No, we go to dance. No. Yeah, we go. Band kids go dance. Band kids go dance. Except for saxophone. Saxophone have to stay there and have to study hall.
So that is the tardy bell. You don't want to be coming in after that bell. That'll be when you can leave. That barking sound means that the class is over, you can get up and go. But there's also a cleanup time before that you have to pay attention to as well. We'll talk about that towards the end of class. Okay, so it looks like today we're doing a quiz. You'll notice there is no homework. Okay, I just didn't want to give you a bunch of homework on your first day of switching classes. Okay, so today I didn't give you homework. You will have homework Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I just haven't decided what homework you'll have on Thursday. This depends on how well we do with the distributive property this week. Okay, we may have to do 3 days of distributive property if it's something we struggle with. Being a new textbook series, I don't like to, well, change gears in the middle.
Someone behind.
For who?
It's from
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, I'll know you're done when you have your planners put away. And we're going to open our textbook for a quick review to page 202, I believe, will be checked. Yes. Okay. So like when you switch classes, before you go to your next class, down at your locker, make a mental checklist of what you need for every class before you go to it, so that you don't forget things. Okay. I've known people who make a little list of things they need and glue it, or not glue it, but tape it to the inside of their locker. Okay. Yeah, magnets are even better. We're not supposed to use tape or stickers. Okay, so just so that you don't get yellow slips for forgetting things when you go from class to class to class. Okay, I'm not giving yellow slips today, but from now on, I'm sure that we'll have to do it that type of thing. So if you need to make a little checklist for yourself, go ahead and do it. If you need my help getting that done, we can do that today. Okay, so I think everybody's got their plan put away. So let's begin reviewing. All right. This is what we're going to look at next. Orange group, if you've already turned in your paper, I'm going to pass it back real quick. They pass these back to Tori and Kylie. And this is Malia. And I'll go get the rest of them. I think almost everybody turned them in last week. Okay, so what I'm doing is just grabbing the paper that you had that looked like this and passing it back. It's not graded, I'll need it back later. So pass it back to the person it belongs to, please. Which one's I didn't see which one.
Oh, that one's right here. Where is one? Thank you.
Dave. David. Kaylin. This one goes back to Corey, please. This is yours. Rylan. I am unmuted, so we do need to stay silent. Okay, Madison, I'm going to put it here. I don't have anything with this. Yeah, that is the kitty cat, but that's the lesson from before. So you might have to go look in your math book real quick. Okay, Brett, go to your locker real quick. Look for your homework assignment in there. Okay, is anybody else missing their homework assignment? Yeah, look on this top shelf in there. Okay, so Maya, Everett. I guess it was right here. Okay. Are you on that birthday though?
No. I remember turning it in.
Ava, Karen, Austin, Jackson, Wesley, Brody. I think that's your Brody. That one is Maddie, Jade, Stephan, Vincent, Jason, Taylor's. Did I say your name?
I turned it in. I remember. I know I turned it in. I remember turning it in.
Rebecca. Here. And keep it at your desk. Okay. That's what this is playing with. Okay. So you remember turning it in?
Yeah.
Will you double check your planner for me and your thing, your folder?
Oh, never mind. I didn't turn it in.
Okay,
I
that's
thought I
fine.
turned it in.
Now I think everybody has one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have yours, Diego? Is that it? You need to finish, okay? All right. Okay. Good enough. So, did everybody kind of understand how to get these answers once you got rocking and rolling with your partner?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Ooh, sorry, Wes. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have you guys take a peek at this. If I can find it. Okay. So right here you can see are the answers to that. So check your work on your math paper. The questions 1 through 12 are listed up here. The answers are, and then the box right here. So if you're not done, okay, go ahead and fill that in the rest of the way. but also check and see how you did on the other questions. Put the correct answer next to the incorrect answer. Let me know that you needed to do that. Okay? I'll give you about 5 minutes to check your own work and fill in the correct answer if you don't have it correct. And put some sort of signal to me, like circling the number or marking it wrong, so that I know how you did. Okay?
Oh, you know the wrong side of what?
Okay, and what did it have to be? It wanted to be more than 100. So a little bit more than 100 is what it needed to be. So 131 is the correct answer. But this is correct in my opinion. This is reading that more than partly. In your mind, you were right too. Okay, you're fine. Just make that in. Make that note on your paper for me. Just so you have the corner of my desk in case you need it again. Okay, you got about a minute and a half to finish checking these out, making sure you're okay. Okay. While you're checking your answers, also make sure you put your name on it. If you haven't turned it in yet, that needs your name on it, so that I can give you credit. Okay, once you're happy with it, you can turn it forward to the person in front of you who can pass it to the person in front so that everything ends up on that front desk. Okay? Make sure your stack is nice and neat and everybody's is facing up. And then that first person is going to go ahead and turn it into the bin. Don't forget that we're still muted for the people at home and recording. And we need to Okay, so that was painless and easy, right? So we got our homework turned in for today, and then we have a quiz to take. Some of us get nervous when someone says test or quiz, so we're just going to take a quick time here to review for it. Because honestly, if you paid attention last week, we went over section 5.1 and 5.2 really slow, baby steps, and you guys should do just fine. So let's go ahead and review a little bit. All right, so on our first questions, we're going to have to identify terms, coefficients, and constants. So just let me give you an expression here. So what if I have 2x plus x squared plus 3? Okay? Who can tell me what the terms are in that expression? 2x. 2x. The x squared, and then what's the other one? Okay, can you tell me which one is the constant, Grayson?
Constant? 3.
The 3 is the constant. Constants are the guys hanging out with nobody else. And which ones are the coefficients? Maya? The x? X can't be a coefficient. It is not a number. Okay, that's a variable. Very good. I forgot to write variable down here. So x would count as the variable. Coefficients, the numbers that are hanging out with the letters, right? So what do you have, Kylie? So the constants are not, or the constant is 3. The coefficients are 2 and 3. No, I lied.
No, it's 2 and 1.
2 and this guy is a 1, isn't he?
Yeah, and 1 squared because you have the 2. No.
Technically, yes. But this guy goes with the variable, so we don't use that. Okay.
X and X.
I'll have to look that up. That's a really good question. Maybe I should have a 1 squared there. Good question, Josh. Make the teacher wonder. That's awesome. It might be 1 squared because this is the variable. This is what it means, isn't it? The 1 is what it means.
Yeah.
And the 2 is hanging out with him. So I'll have to find out if coefficients can be squared. If their exponent or if their variable is squared. I'll get back to you on that. Don't worry about it on your quiz though, because it's not there. We just have a simple one that looks like this. Okay, ours is real simple. It's just 2 terms. You don't have to identify the variable, and it looks like 2x plus 7. Okay, so the terms here would be 2x, and then the 7. The coefficient is the 2, and the constant is the 7. Okay, so that's what yours is going to look like. Just a pretty simple one to identify those 3 types of things. All right. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to have to write expressions for one number that looks like this. If I have 16g times g times g times g, what do you have then?
I got 16G and then G.
Exponent?
Exponent 4.
Yep.
We have an exponent 4 and when they're together.
Yep, 16g to the 4th power. Very good. So that's what one of your questions looks like. And I know you knew what to do, just not what to call it, right? Nellie?
Wouldn't it be 16G cubed? Not cubed, quadruple.
Quadruple would be a good way to say that, yes. Yeah. Brody.
So that's 16G. If that was a word problem, that G could have been a label.
Yeah. Maybe you were counting gophers or something.
Yeah.
All right, evaluate. If you're told to evaluate something, you solve it, don't you?
Yeah.
So in this case, did I give you what the variable means? Yeah. So in this case, I would go 16y means times, 16 times 3 plus 3. When the letter is next to the number, it means multiply. So then it would be 18 plus 3, and what's our result? 21. Okay. What if I had c squared minus 18? Well, if my c value is worth 10, I have to square it and then subtract 18. Well, what's 10 squared?
100.
100 minus 18.
82.
Very good. So for some reason, I can't go to the rest of it. Okay. So do you see how to do those? And those are very familiar? Okay, next one. You're going to be told that you have to write an expression from a number, from a word phrase. 13 subtract from a number x. What would that look like?
13 minus X.
Okay, Emma?
13 minus X, and then X equals something.
Hey, there's no equal sign and I want an expression. So don't put an equal sign in it. Grayson, what do you think?
13 minus X.
13 subtracted from a number.
Oh, no, X minus 13.
X minus 13. Yeah, we got to be careful. You got to really listen to how those are worded. If you have 13 subtracted from a number x, the x has to be in the front. Okay? And I know Josh knows how to do this one. What would t cubed be?
T with an exponent of 3. T with an exponent of 3.
Very good. T to the third power. Okay, so we have a couple like that on our quizzy. And if you're really worried about those, you can get help. You can just come up and ask. Okay? We're going to write word phrases for simple expressions like this. What can we say for 3 cubed? What do you got, Britta?
3 multiplied by Q.
3 multiplied by Q, or you can go 3 times Q, and you can always look back at that one part of lesson 5.2 that tells you all the key words for multiplication. The product of 3 and Q, 3 times Q, okay, that kind of thing. Now what about 7 minus M? I already said it out loud, didn't I? That's one of them, isn't it? What do you got, Dace?
7 subtracted from M.
Nope, that would be the other way around. 7 subtracted from M would make the M in front. Yes.
M subtracted from 7.
Very good. See what that does? M subtracted from 7 makes it be the back end number. Okay? Or 7 minus M. That's a good way to say that. And that's what we're comfortable with, saying that minus number. Okay? And then the following questions are just using what we know about those algebraic expressions and pieces of parts of algebra to be able to answer questions and solve. So I'm going to give you the quiz, and then after that, we're going to talk about some of the procedures and some of the rules now that we're switching classes each day, okay, at the end of class, and then we'll do the procedure for leaving class correctly with the correct cleanup and things like that. Unfortunately, we don't have homework tonight because we are just doing this quiz today. I wanted to make it a little bit easier for you guys on your first day to switch classes.
Can my friend tell me about the sign?
So, also, at the end, when you're done with this quiz, I want you to take it and put it in with your color group up here. You guys are the orange group. So you can bring it up there, and I need you to read section 5.4 in your math book. Because the distributive property was what I wanted to start today, but I wanted to make sure you guys had this. Because this is like the backbone of algebra, knowing these terms and understanding how to write expressions, okay? So hopefully we all have the backbone nice and sturdy, and we can move on to the distributive property tomorrow. But if you've read about it already, that'll make it even easier. Extra?
Not an extra. Not an extra.
Never mind. Never mind. It isn't. I just.
Okay, so the first question, I didn't even put it on the paper. It should be named. Okay, at the very top of your page, please write your name nice and clear, and also put your color group on in case somebody slides it into the wrong bin. Don't use those numbers because our numbers have changed and some people have switched classes. So if I give you numbers later on, then you can use numbers, but for now we're not going to use numbers. Okay, good luck, you guys. What are you supposed to do when you're done with the quiz? Turn it in and then read